Hello, good morning one and all. In your previous session, you might have learnt about a concept called unary operators. Let's just refresh what do you mean by a unary operator, because in this session we are going to learn about a very important operator called increment and decrement operator. Before that, let's refresh what do you mean by a unary operator. The name itself says, my dear students, unary. Unary means single. If you are performing an operation on a single operand, then it is called a unary operator. Then what do you mean by a binary operator? If you are performing an operation between two operands, then it is called a binary operator. Can you give me some examples of a binary operator? Yes, arithmetic operator, relational operator, bitwise, etc. So these are all called binary operators. But a unary operator is a special type of operator where we are going to perform on a single operand. Then such type of operator is called a unary operator. Under unary operator, we have two important operators. One is the increment and decrement. And good morning one and all. I am Dr. P. Shivakumar, Associate Professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Let's move into the topic. In this session, you are going to learn about writing the basic codes on increment and decrement operations, which is used in a single statement. So this session is designed basically to increase or decrease a variable by value 1 in a loop. It means that incrementing or decrementing. Incrementing is nothing but moving ahead, just adding 1 to it. Decrementing is nothing but subtracting 1 from it. So these are the things what we are going to learn from this session. And also we can improve the performance of an array and a unary operator, which is very fast, more than using traditional arithmetic operations. We can improve the code performance. And finally, we can able to understand what is the difference between pre and post increment and pre and post decrement, which we are going to use in loops. Let's continue. So these are the learning outcomes. At the end of the session, my dear students, you will be learning about how to implement increment and decrement operators and also solve some problems by using some prefix and postfix incrementing or decrementing. Let's see how we are going to use increment and decrement operators and what are the types. So generally, increment or decrement is nothing but adding 1 to a variable or an operand, or subtracting 1 to a variable or an operand. Generally, the increment operators in C programming is represented with plus plus. I think most of you have remembered that in the loops we have written. First, what we have written, my dear students? Every loop program contains 3 important parts or 3 important statements. First one, initialization. Second one is condition. Third one is increment or decrement. So these increment and decrement operators can be used in loops. Right. Let's see the next important point. What are the general types of unary operators we have? As I told you the definition of a unary operator is an operator which is performed on a single operand. So there are 2 types of operators. One is increment operator and the other one is decrement operator. An increment operator is represented with plus plus, you can see here, and the decrement operator is represented with minus minus. Just see the difference, my dear students. Plus is an arithmetic operator. It means that a plus b is an arithmetic operator, whereas a plus plus or plus plus a, these are called what, my dear students? These are called unary operators, whereas this is called an arithmetic operator. Just see the difference. Most of you will get confused. Plus, whenever you see plus, you will tell that simply increment or decrement operator. No, plus plus is an increment operator, minus minus is a decrement operator, right? Again, in increment operator is divided into 2 types. One is the pre-increment, other one is the post-increment. And decrement also is divided into 2 types, pre-decrement and post-decrement. Let us see the difference between a pre-increment and a post increment, and pre-decrement and a post decrement. Remember, my dear students, incrementing is you can increment a value by 1, decrement is decrementing a value by 1. That's what the difference. Now let's see the difference between pre-increment and a post increment. I'll just tell you with a small example, my dear students, so that you can able to understand the difference between pre-increment and post increment. And remember one important point while learning this increment and decrement operators, if any question arises, just tell the solution that it is compiler dependent. These operators are compiler dependent. Sir, what do you mean by a compiler dependent? Yes, here comes the answer. Compiler dependent is nothing but, for example, I'm using to write a program, I'm using Dev C++. Some of the students is using Turbo C++. Another student is using Online GDB. Right? These are various compilers where you can write C programs. So the output what comes from the unary operator in my Dev C++ may be may somewhat different the person who are using in Turbo C++, and the output what other students who are working in Turbo C++ may vary with Online GDB. So a very important point here you have to note is unary operators are compiler dependent, right? Based on the compiler what you are using, the output depends. Sir, then how can we differentiate, sir? Just go with the logic, right? Don't get confused, just go with the logic whatever I'm explaining, right? Let us see the difference between the pre-increment and the post-increment. Very simple example. The name itself says, my dear students, pre and post. In a pre-increment, first the value increments in the memory. Don't worry, I'll take an example. I'll take a variable called a, and my variable what I store is 10. A is equals to 10, what I have stored. Now I'll show you the difference between pre-increment and post-increment, my dear students. This is the two memory locations where I'm doing ++a and where I'm doing a++. Let's see the difference. Pre-increment is nothing but first increment the value of a by 1, whatever it's there in the memory, and then print it. I'm repeating, my dear students. First increment the value of a. What is the value of a in the memory? 10. Increment 10 with 1. So it takes 11. So what is there in the memory now? A value 11 will be occupied in a variable a. Increment 1 in the memory and then print the value on the screen. So if you print the a value, it prints 11 on the screen. I am repeating once again. A value is 10. Pre-increment is nothing but increment and print. Increment by 1 in the memory and then print the value. So that is pre-increment. Then sir, what is mean by post-increment? Post-increment is nothing but what is the a value now? Updated a value you have 11 is the value in the memory now. If you do the post-increment, first it prints the value on the screen. 11 will be printed on the screen, but the updated value in the memory of a will be 12. That is what the difference between pre-increment and a post-increment. Don't worry, once again I'll explain. I have taken a value as 10. Pre-increment means simply just remember incrementing and print the value. That is the pre-increment. Then what do you mean by post-increment? First print and then increment. That is called post. That's what the difference. Pre is nothing but increment and printing. Post increment is nothing but printing and incrementing. That is the difference, my dear students. Now tell me, what is pre-decrement and post-decrement? Just give some of you might have got the answer. Pre-decrement and a post-decrement. For example, if my a value is 10. A value is 10. Now tell me what is minus a value. If I print a value, what is minus? What I told pre-increment and pre-increment and post-increment. Just like that, pre-decrement and post-decrement. Incrementing means just adding 1. Decrement means is nothing but subtracting 1. Now what do you mean by pre-decrement? first decrement the value by 1 and then print. What is the a value you got? 10 on the screen, I mean 10 on the 10 in the memory. Now decrement it by 1, so 9. So first it decrements and prints the value will be 9. Now what is a minus minus? What is a minus minus? In the memory, a value will be, first it prints the value on the screen. What is the a value? We have 9. So first 9 will be printed, on the screen and then subtract. So the updated a value will be 8. This is the way how you can understand the difference between pre-decrement and post-decrement, as well as pre-increment and a post-increment. Now see, for example, if you take p is equals to 10, q is equals to plus plus p. Now if you print q value, now tell me what is the answer, my dear students. What is the answer you get? Is your answer is 10, or is your answer is 11, or is your answer is 12? What is the answer? For example, I am giving you three solutions for it. Now which one is the correct one? Will it print 10, will it print 11, or will it print 12? Yes, my dear students, you know the answer. The answer is 11 will be the answer. Sir, how come, sir? How come 11? Because are you using a pre-increment or a post-increment? Very good, you are using a pre-increment. What I told you, pre-increment, first increment the value and then print. Increment, what is the p value I gave you? 10. First increment it. So p value becomes, q value becomes 11 now. Q becomes 11, right? So if you print the output, 11 will be printed on the screen. This is the way how you can see the for example, if I wrote q is equals to minus minus p. Now what is the answer, my dear students? What is your answer, my dear students? Very good, very good. Your answer is 9 will be printed on the screen, because what is the p value? 10. Pre-decrement. Pre-decrement means first decrement the value and then print it. What is the p value? 10. 10 minus 1, 9. So q value will be assigned to 9. So this is the way how you can find the difference between pre-increment and post-increment, pre-decrement and post-decrement. Let's see with a small example. Now see this example. What is the answer you'll get, my dear students? Int k is equals to 10, I is equals to k plus plus. Now if you print I, what is your answer, my dear students? What is your answer you'll get? Are you using a pre-increment or a post-increment? Very good, you are doing post-increment. See, I have given the explanation. In this example, the value of k is first used in the expression and then incremented to 11, and then the value of I is assigned to 10. See the difference, see the difference. So I is equals to k plus plus. First if you print I, what is the I value? K plus plus. What is k value? 10. Is it a post increment or a pre increment? Very good, it's a post increment. Post increment, what I told you, first it prints the value and then it increments in the memory. So the k value is 10. So if you print I value, I will be 10 will be printed on the screen. I is equals to 10, it will be printed on the screen. But if you print k value, what is your answer, my dear student? Will it print 10 or will it print 11? Very good, it prints 11 on the screen. This is the difference between post increment and a pre increment. So I hope everyone understood, my dear students. If you see the previous example, p is equals to 10, q is equals to 10. So if you print p and q, tell me what is the answer you'll get, my dear students. Just see the difference. P is equals to 10, q is equals to plus plus p. So q is equals to plus plus p means how much? Pre-increment. So first increment the value of p. Q will be 11. Now in the memory, what is the value of p? P is also updated value is 11. So if you print p and q, what is the output you'll get? 11 will be the output on the screen. Now in this example, if you take a post increment, you can see the difference. I value will be 10 only, but k value will be 11, because post increment is nothing but to print the value whatever is there in the memory and then increment it by 1. So that's why I is printed 10, k is printed as 11. Now I'll tell you one more example. You have to give the answer, my dear students. I'll take k is equals to 9, I is equals to minus minus k. If you print k, what is the k value? And if you print I, what is the I value? I want the answer, my dear students. Please give me the solution. fast. Very good. Most of the students got the answer. K is equals to 9. So, K value will be 9 in the memory. What you are doing? Are you doing pre-decrement or a post-decrement? Yes, very good. Pre-decrement. Pre-decrement means what? First it decrements by 1 in the memory. First it decrements the value of 1 in the memory. So, updated K value will be 8. So, if you print I, your value of I, because I value equals to minus K. So, what is the updated value of K? You got 8. Now, if you print K, what is the answer? Will it print 9 or will it print 8? Very good. What is the last value of K you have in the memory? 8. So, 8 and 8 will be printed on the screen. I hope everyone is able to follow, my dear students. Don't worry. We will take one more example. Instead of I equals to minus K, I will take I is equals to K minus minus. Now, tell me what is the solution, my dear students. It's a post decrement. Post decrement means what? What I told you, whatever the value is there in the memory, first it prints the value. What is the value of K initially? 9. So, first I value 9 will be printed on the screen. Since it is a post decrement, you have to decrement by 1 in the memory afterwards. So, your K value becomes 8 now. If you print K, 8 will be printed. See the difference? The before one pre-decrement, it prints in 8 and 8. Now, it is a post decrement, I value will be 9, K value will be 8. So, this is the way how we can see the difference between a pre-increment and a post-increment, pre-decrement and a post-decrement. Before going to this, we will see with one more example. So, you can tell me what is the output for this first program. A value equals to 13 and B value equals to 13. What I am doing, my dear students? Print A plus plus and print plus plus B. As everyone knows that, my dear students. A plus plus is a post increment or a pre-increment? Very good. Now, first you write down the memory values. A value is 13, sir. B value is also 13, sir. You are doing post increment on A. It means that first 13 will be printed on the memory. I am sorry, but 13 will be printed on the screen. But what is the value of A in the memory? Updated value 14. So, if you print A, 13 is printed on the screen. But what is the value of A? 14 is the updated value, right? Next, tell me printf %d plus plus B. What is the value of B in the memory? 13. Pre-increment means what I told you, first increment the value of B in the memory. It means that first increment the value, B value will be 14. Incrementing and printing. So, if you print a B value, 14 will be printed on the screen, right? So, that is why the output is 13, 14. I hope everyone understood the difference between pre-increment and post-increment. Yes, my dear students. Now, tell me what is the value of A, what is the value of A, B and C in the present program. A is equals to 3, B is equals to 17, C is equals to minus A plus B minus. Very good. So, A value is equals to 3. Am I using a pre-increment or a post pre-decrement? Pre-decrement. Very good. Pre-decrement means first decrement the value of A. So, A value will be 2 now. So, A is equals to 2. You can write 2 there. B minus. What you are using? Post decrement, right? B value is 17. So, first 17 will be printed on B, then B value will be updated, B value is 16. That is what the difference. So, if you add both 2 plus 17, which is equals to 19, right? So, this is the way how you can show the difference between a pre-increment and a post-increment, pre-decrement and a post-decrement. Now, I will give you a small question of how to increment and how to decrement. I will take main int I is equals to 20, printf %d comma I plus plus, printf %d comma plus plus I. I want the solution, my dear students. I want you to try what will be the I plus plus value and what will be the plus plus I value. Very good. Most of you know the answer. First, you draw the memory. Sir, my initial value of I is 20, sir. Very good. What you are doing, my dear students? You are doing I plus plus, post increment. Post increment means first it prints the value of I in the memory. So it prints 20 on the screen. What is the updated I value now? I becomes 21. Printing and incrementing is the post increment. Remember. What is the next step you wrote? Pre-increment. Pre-increment is nothing but incrementing and printing, right? That's called a pre-increment. So what is the I value? You got 21. Now I becomes 22. Incrementing by 1 and then print on the screen. So the output is 20 and 22. That is the difference between post increment and a post decrement. Now please tell me what is the output for the following program. I minus minus and I minus minus and minus minus I. I'll just wait for 1 minute. Just think of the solution and check whether my solution is matching with your solution or not. I is equals to 20. Very good. Yes, most of the students are getting the solution. Very good. I minus minus. Sir, is it a post decrement or a pre decrement? Very good. Post decrement. What I told you, post decrement, post means printing and decrementing. First, what is the value of I you got in the memory? 20. So 20 will be printed on the screen, but in the memory of I, it decrements by 1. Printing and decrements, that's called post. Now tell me what is the value of I minus minus I, pre-decrement. Very good. First decrement the I value by 1. So it takes I value as 18 and then it prints. 18 will be printed on the screen. If you print this, 20 and 18 will be the output you can see on the screen. I hope everyone understood the basic difference between increment and decrement, and post increment and pre decrement, and post increment and pre increment, post decrement and pre decrement. So these are the 4 important operators which comes under unary operator. I am repeating once again. Incrementing is just increment by 1. Decrementing is nothing but just decrement by 1. Post increment is nothing but printing and then incrementing in the memory. Pre-increment is nothing but incrementing and printing the value. In the same manner, pre-decrement and post-decrement. Decrementing by 1 in the memory and printing is called pre-decrement. Printing and then decrementing in the memory is called post-decrement. So this is the way how you can differentiate between increment and decrement operators. So this is the way how you can able to learn and you can solve ample of programs. Now sir, tell me what is the output for this program. Remember my dear students, here you have to follow a very important property called associativity rule, where the value what I gave is 5. Remember, where the value is 5. Printf percentage d plus plus where plus plus. That's what I wrote. Now most of you think that you will start the expression from plus plus where, next you think that where, and next you think that where plus plus will be evaluated. No my dear students, remember the evaluation of this expression will be evaluated from right to left. Remember, from right to left. As per the associativity precedence, the right parenthesis has to be given the first preference. That's why the expression starts evaluating from right and goes up to left. But while printing, it prints from left to right. There is little bit confusion my dear students, don't worry. The thing is, if you see such type of examples where plus plus where plus plus, just think of associativity. Associativity is nothing but generally an expression will be evaluated from left to right, but in such type of situations the expressions will be evaluated from right to left, but printing, it prints from left to right. Now will it evaluate plus plus where or where plus plus? Very good my dear students, your answer is where plus plus. So where plus plus is a post increment or a pre increment? Very good, post increment. Post increment means what my dear students? First 5 will be printed, but in the memory of where will be 6 now. Hope understood my dear students. Next, what is the next variable we have? Where. What is the last value of where we have? So 6 will be taken. Very good. Next, what is the next one we have? Plus plus where. Plus plus var means pre-increment. Pre-increment means what, my dear students? First increment the value of var by 1 and then print the value. So, updated var value will be 7 now. The 7 will be replaced in plus plus var. So, if you print, the value will be printed from left to right. So, in the output you can able to see 7 comma 6 comma 5 will be printed on the screen. And remember, my dear students, the value or the solution will be dependent based on the compiler what you are using. Some of the students might get 7 comma 6 comma 6 or 7 comma 6 comma 5, or some other may get a different solution. Remember, these operators are completely compiler dependent, but during interview point of view, just go with the procedure what I told you. What I told you, that is the pre-increment and a post-increment, pre-decrement and a post-decrement, right? So, this is the way how we have to learn about increment and decrement operators. So, you can solve ample of programs on increment and decrement operators. So, these are the some of the self-assessment questions. Increment and decrement the value of a given variable by 1, increment and decrement, and you can see these are the some of the questions what you have to assess by yourself, right? How to evaluate increment and decrement operators? You can tell the right solution for it, because we have already learned what you mean by an increment and decrement, and you know what is meant by post increment and pre-increment. And remember, here I have given you postfix and prefix, etc. Everything is the same, my dear students. Prefix means pre, postfix means post, post increment, pre-increment. Here we have written prefix and postfix increment. Don't worry, anything is the same. And finally, you have to understand, you just put up questions by yourself that what do you mean by unary operator, what is the difference between increment and decrement operators, and how many types of operators, increment and decrement operators we have, right? So, these are the basic points what we have to learn on unary operators. I hope everyone enjoyed the session. Thank you. Thanks a lot.